Death of Devon. 1 hour ago, young and restless Devon died peacefully at his home. Very sad news. The evening air was soft, almost conspiratorial, as if it already knew what the rest of the world would soon discover. Only an hour ago, Devon Hamilton, the soulful heart of Genoa City, exhaled his final breath in the quiet of his own home. News of his passing spread like a tender breeze through the community that had come to love him, leaving behind a silence heavy with both grief and gratitude. Devon's life had always been a complex melody, sometimes dissonant, often triumphant. To speak of his death is to open a book filled with countless chapters of courage, heartbreak, and redemption. Those who knew him well say his final hour was one of peace. No monitors beeped, no cold hospital light flickered. Instead, soft music played from the speakers in his living room. A single candle burned on the table beside him, the flames swaying in rhythm with his last gentle breaths. A life of unscripted drama. Devon never lived a simple story. Born into circumstances that could have defined him by struggle, he chose instead to define himself by perseverance. Over the years, he had endured the jagged edges of loss and the quiet weight of expectation. Yet every setback only revealed more of his character. His was not merely the tale of a soap opera figure, it was the chronicle of a man who kept standing when life seemed determined to knock him down. Those who remember his early days recall a young man marked by a quiet intensity. He was fiercely loyal, even when loyalty cost him dearly. He loved with a heart as wide as the horizon, whether it was his family, his music, or the community he built around him. Each relationship carried the force of a lifelong vow. To watch Devon was to witness the kind of devotion rarely captured in real life, let alone on screen. The final evening. Yesterday's sunset painted the sky in molten oranges and deep purples, as though nature herself prepared a grand curtain call. Neighbors noticed the faint sound of jazz spilling through Devon's open windows, his favorite Coltrane record spinning slowly, filling the rooms with a familiar warmth. Friends say he spent the afternoon writing in a small leather notebook. Perhaps they were letters. Perhaps just fragments of thought. Whatever they were, those pages now rest beside him, a final testament to a mind that never stopped seeking meaning. As twilight deepened, Devon settled into his favorite chair, the one by the window that overlooked the quiet street where children often played. His breathing slowed, steady as the evening tide. When the candle's wax finally pooled at its base, Devon's soul seemed to drift with the last curl of smoke. It was not an end but a release. Remembering his heart. News of his passing traveled swiftly through Genoa City, each person receiving it with a stunned silence that spoke louder than words. Sharon lit a candle in her cafe, its glow flickering through the glass like a silent vigil. Abby called the family together, her voice trembling yet strong. Even those who had once clashed with Devon paused to remember the strength of his convictions and the kindness he carried like a second skin. In every tribute, a common thread emerges. Devon had an uncanny ability to make others feel truly seen. He asked questions that cut through small talk, listened with a patience that made time feel irrelevant. He believed in people when they couldn't believe in themselves. That, more than anything, is the legacy he leaves behind. The music lives on. Music was the lifeblood of Devon's existence. From the first time he sat at a piano to the countless performances that followed, he spoke a language beyond words. His songs were not just notes and rhythms, they were living, breathing stories. At the news of his death, musicians from every corner of the city gathered spontaneously at Chancellor Park. Guitars, saxophones, and voices blended into a quiet hymn under the starlit sky. It was as if the universe answered back in harmony. Lessons from a gentle soul. In a world often rushing toward the next distraction, Devon's life was a reminder of what truly matters. He taught that strength is not the absence of vulnerability, but the courage to embrace it. He showed that forgiveness is a gift you give yourself as much as others. And he demonstrated that love, steady, unwavering love, is the greatest rebellion against a world that sometimes forgets how to care. His death invites us to pause. to hold our loved ones a little closer, to play that song we've been meaning to listen to write that letter, speak that truth, forgive that hurt. Devon's story ends, but the echo of his choices continues in every life he touched. A farewell, not a goodbye. Tonight, Genoa City will dim its lights in quiet remembrance. The streets will hum with the memories of a man who lived fully and loved deeply. Fans of the young and the restless, and anyone who ever crossed Devon's path, even in fiction, will feel the weight of this loss. Yet in the very next breath, there is gratitude. Gratitude that such a character, such a soul, ever existed to inspire. As the candlelight fades and the music softens, we are left not with despair but with a gentle reminder. Life's value lies not in its length, but in the depth of its moments. Devon's journey, though ended, shines as proof that a single life, lived with open-hearted conviction, can leave an indelible mark on the world. 1 hour ago, Devon Hamilton slipped quietly into eternity. But the melody of his spirit plays on, in every heart he touched, in every song still humming through the halls of memory. We mourn, we celebrate, and above all, we remember.